Hey everyone, I am Bliss Alexandria, Master Abundant Life Coach. And today, what I really wanted to talk about is the idea, not even the idea, it's pretty much reality, in that men are not stupid. Men are very smart. Men are very brilliant. Please stay with me here in case you're like, where's she going with this? I promise you, it's this is a good one. It's a good one. But I'm saying all of this because there's this idea that we have to give people the benefit of the doubt, or maybe they just don't know, or maybe they just need some sort of guidance when it comes to treating you like a human being, just base level human being. Now, while I do agree that when it comes to meeting people as individuals, we do have to learn their quirks, their likes and their dislikes, how they love, how they prefer to be loved. Those all are things that we do need to learn about a person. But when it comes to just basic humanity 101, we give way too much benefit of the doubt to people, men in particular. If anything, we should be giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt in a lot of these instances. But I really want to drive home the idea that even though there are some legit villains out here, we have to be honest with ourselves about why they feel comfortable in our presence and how they even got there in the first place. I'll never forget years and years ago, I had an argument with an ex, and at the end of it, or what I thought was the end of it, you know how arguments go, I said, I don't understand why you treat me like this, and all I try to do is love you. And so he replied, I do it because I can, and you're not going to do anything about it. And he was absolutely right. I was, by virtue of still being there in his presence and just kind of entertaining the bullshit he would say on a regular basis, just by entertaining all of that, I was essentially co-signing it. I was allowing it to be in my presence. I was creating an atmosphere in which he was comfortable with treating me a certain way. This doesn't mean that he wasn't wrong. He was absolutely wrong. He was awful. But at the same time, I didn't necessarily have to be in that position. Now, I say necessarily because it did kind of devolve into a quite abusive situation. So there is that. But also, there are some things we can do before it gets to that point. Now, just kind of rolling it back a little bit to what I was going with, because I don't necessarily want to talk about abuse today. Maybe later, but not today. But I do want us to recognize that people are very deliberate. People know what they want. People go for what they want. Humans in general are very, we are always in self-preservation mode in some way. We look out for ourselves. Humans are opportunists. Remember pre-COVID, I don't know if this is still a thing. Hopefully it is because I love food. But remember food samples? Now, how many of y'all would have a sample and then try to figure out a way to get another one? Right? Whether it's by asking or you're like, oh, hope she turns around, or hope he turns around and I can just grab one and then run, right? Or even how many of us have used multiple emails to get a discount? Right? If presented with the opportunity to get something to benefit us, we're usually going to take it. Now, what separates myself and maybe yourself, if you consider yourself a good person, and those who aren't, those who are truly villains, is that, yeah, we know at a certain point, this isn't it. This is kind of messed up. We shouldn't be doing that. But some people, they really don't care. And they are really looking for that little technicality or that little, just looking for a way to get in there get near you so they can just wreak as much havoc as possible because they get off on that, right? They love doing that. And people, like I said, people are not dumb. Even just being a adult in a world like this right now, you have to be very, very intentional to be an adult, right? I have a home, I have a car I drive. Both took research and just insight on my part to get those. You don't accidentally end up with a car. It just doesn't, you just don't stumble upon one, right? There's a whole process. There's a whole process to renting an apartment, buying a home, right? People do what you allow them to do. And some of these guys out here, we tried, and this is a really huge pet peeve of mine, saying that there's boys and there's men. Like, oh no, this guy who hurt you, that was a boy. He wasn't a man. Yes, he was a man. He may be an immature man, but he sure as hell is a man. Same with women too. They're like, oh, that wasn't a real. Yes, they are. He is a real man. That 53-year-old man who don't know how to act right, he is a man. He may be an immature one, but don't let people try to distance themselves from bad behavior. No. I don't know why people try to protect, members of their species when it comes to bad behavior. But yes, there are people out here who are true menaces, and they're fully grown. Their brains may still be locked in 1994. I don't know, but they are fully grown, and unless they have an actual issue with their mental capacity, they are not boys. These are men that are doing this out here. Men are not stupid. Men are brilliant. They're going to get away with whatever we allow them to get away with. This is not absolving them. Like I said, there's still villains out here. But again, like with my example, he wouldn't have been able to do a lot of what he did if I didn't create an atmosphere in which it was comfortable for him to do so. What are some of the ways that you are making an environment comfortable with some of these villains in your life? Please just sit with that question and ask yourself, because that is where we need to start when it comes to setting boundaries. That is where we need to start when it comes to setting standards for ourselves. We need to answer these questions and quit crying. I mean, crying's okay. I'll give you 30 seconds to cry. But when it comes to how people treat us, we have a lot of control. We have much more control than we think once you're an adult. When I was a kid, it was very hard to control my environment. That's how I kind of taught myself that it wasn't okay to speak up. That's why it wasn't okay to set standards. Now that I'm an adult and I see the ways in which I am allowing toxicity to fester, no, it is up to you to get off your ass and determine all the ways in which you are inviting all of these things into your life. We need to make sure that we set ourselves up to transform in such a way that, we do a complete 180 and you start actually attracting good people into your life. You start moving in a way that makes these people uncomfortable. One of the things that I noticed last year in particular when I was really doing a lot of growing, I noticed how this specific person kind of finagled his way into my life. Yes, I did say finagle, but he finagled his way into my life. And he was not a person who was serious about me. And as I was growing, I noticed how I could feel the energy kind of shift with him. Just like, she's not someone I can get over on anymore. And I didn't really notice what was happening. I could feel the shift, but now I can actually call a thing a thing. That shift was just me really recognizing the ways that I needed to set boundaries for myself and standards for myself, and how I was really taking control of who I was letting around me. Because some of the things that was going on, I would never, like right now, in the here and now, those things would not happen. Like, not at all. Not at all. And he could sense it. He could sense that his time was up. He could sense that, oh, if I want to continue with this bullshit, I only got a minuscule amount of time to wreak havoc because she is changing and I'm going to be out of here. People who do not have good intentions, people who only want to be in your life for the benefits, they know that their time is ultimately temporary. They're going to try to push it as long and as far as possible, but they know it's temporary. They know they need to get what they can get while the going is good. And once they know that they can't feed off of you anymore, then they're just going to slither away. They'll just go away. And the crazy thing about when you have people like this too is, and I shouldn't say crazy thing, but it is kind of, is the ways in which they really go for low-hanging fruit. These are fundamentally lazy people. And you stick out like a sore thumb when they see that you don't have boundaries, that you are inadvertently creating an atmosphere in which they will thrive. They love that. They love the ease that comes with that. They are having the time of their lives because they know that you are not putting your foot down. You are low-hanging fruit. And even just a couple of standards and just putting out even one boundary, they'll try to push against it. But ultimately, they want someone that won't take a lot to actually get in and manipulate. It's really crazy to me that I'm like, that's why I don't really have any. That's why I don't have any patience for lazy people anymore. Before I think, oh, they just need help. They just need this. They just need that. No, no lazy people. Even if you do something wrong, you can be incorrect in how you do things. And I'm talking about like in a very literal sense. If you don't know how to do a thing correctly, that is okay as long as you keep on doing it and you learn from it, right? That is okay. I don't consider that lazy. What I do consider lazy is when you're not even trying. And that is who we're talking about here. We're talking about people who are fundamentally lazy. All right. So, again, men are brilliant. Men are brilliant. They're going to get away with whatever they're going to get away with. And this is a conversation that has always rubbed me the wrong way because I've always wanted so desperately for people to take accountability. I wanted them to take ownership of where they were doing harm. But you know what? We can't wait around. I don't have time to wait around for people to decide to act right. If I want a better outcome for my life, I need to put my foot down now and then surround myself with the people who actually do want to do right. That's the only thing, that's the only given. All this other stuff is unknowns. But what I can count on is myself putting my foot down and having boundaries. All right? So again, stop giving that man the benefit of the doubt. Stop letting him disrespect you. We're talking about a population of people who wouldn't even sit in another barber's chair. They're not even going to sit in another barber's chair. They are not going to sit in another bar. And why is this important? Because they consider it disrespect. So if they're not going to do that, but they're disrespecting you, they know what respect is. As much as they talk about, valuing respect, and it is important to value respect. We should. If people have earned respect, they should absolutely get it. They talk about valuing respect, which is totally fine. I do too. But then they turn around and treat you the way they're treating you. Are they really valuing respect like that? You think that they are really going to forget things, quote unquote, forget things, or just do half-ass things and all that for their boss at work? Do you really think that they are going to just, tell their boss, men are very, very smart. And I want you to understand that, again, to have the best outlook for your life, an outcome for your life, we really need to start with ourselves and saying, I'm not going to put up with this type of behavior. All right. So we are in the middle of my dating workshop that I'm collaborating with Rebecca Lynn Pope with, and it is going phenomenal. I am so excited about it. I've been talking about it for the longest, and I'm glad that it's actually here. And right now, it is closed because it was sold out, but it will be available for purchase later. And I'll have the link. It'll be in the link in my bio when all of that happens. And I also have my Winning Womanhood course coming out too. That course, and that was kind of an extension of where I was going with my dating angle, you guys. So turns out that my reason for turning to dating is because in society and the church, they always have, I shouldn't say always, but majority of the time, they'll conflate womanhood with being a wife. And that is just not the case. You are a multifaceted human being. So that is why I want to get you all on the straight and narrow when it comes to knowing how to date properly. Because I feel like, we're not educated very well in that arena, women. So that is where my idea for my Winning Womanhood course came from, and I hope you all enjoy it when I release it. And then I have a bunch of other things too that I have coming down the hatch. One of them too is just learning how to navigate male nature. Crazy enough, someone in the course mentioned how, that would be a great course, not knowing that that is something that I'm working on. So that course is coming down the hatch, you guys. And I'm very excited about that because it's very important to learn how to navigate all of these spaces because ultimately they impact your life. So again, link in bio. I have links to all of the things there, my email list. And also don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe below. I want you to be on this journey with me, you guys. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation too down below in my links. And yeah. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to send questions or message me in the comments. I really like reading your comments. Even if they're not so great comments, I still like reading them. All right. And also, shout out to my food cup that I was eating earlier too. I was like, is that a spoon? Oh, yeah, it is. But yeah, so again, thank you all so much.